Hello everyone, today I'm back in World of Guns, Gun Disassembly, and today we have yet another cool military rifle to take a look at. Today we're gonna take a look at the Steyr AUG rifle. So this is quite a well-known, at least a well-recognized rifle, I would say. It is featured in pretty much every video game ever. And that's probably just because of the very sort of space age type looks. So basically, this is a military rifle designed and built by Steyr, which is an Austrian company, and it was developed by Austria as their main rifle, their main battle rifle, and also by other countries, quite a few of them actually. It is chambered for 5.56 NATO, and it has a 30 round mag. I don't think they are Steyr AUG mags. I think they're their own sort of proprietary thing. They might be interchangeable with Steyr AUG mags. I don't know though. Probably are. It is a bullpup sort of design, which means the action is behind of the trigger. It's got an integrated sort of optic on top, which makes it look very interesting. That and the weird sort of trigger guard that extends all the way down the pistol grip is also very distinct. So I think that optic is sort of a not very modern thing anymore. I think it's like a 1.5x optic, just like a slightly magnified optic. I'm sure nowadays they've got a way to mount some modern stuff on there, but that's what the rifle came with. So believe it or not, these things were actually developed in the 60s, which is pretty incredible to me. I guess late 60s, which would put it on par with the M16 or the AR-15, and that's pretty remarkable. Now this thing doesn't use like high-grade aluminium parts like the AR-15, although it does use quite a bit of polymer parts, which was also quite state-of-the-art for that time. All in all, it looks like a very bare-bones kind of rifle. We've got it's also got an interesting control in that the trigger acts both as a semi-auto and a full auto trigger. So basically, if you press it a little bit, it's semi-auto, and if you press it all the way, it's full auto. I think that's how it works. So that sort of remedies the use of an external sort of control for semi-auto or full auto. So I don't know much about the internal structure of this rifle. I believe it is a piston rifle. So let's take it apart and see how it looks inside. I have never handled this rifle. They exist on the civilian market, I'm quite aware, but I think they're quite rare, and I think quite expensive as well. I haven't seen one for sale in my country ever, so I don't know. There's probably some around, but they're definitely not commonplace things. So the barrel comes out just very simply. It's got a sort of a vertical front grip that can be folded to be like a horizontal grip as well, I think. And then the receiver is all a unit with the scope. Very interesting stuff. Looks like we've got dual recoil springs and the bolt there. That's very reminiscent of an AR-18 with the guide rods and stuff. And it's got a multi-lug rotating bolt, as you can see. Looks very similar to the AR-15 in that sense. Interesting. I'm not sure why those springs are... Oh, they are actually in tubes. Interesting stuff. Okay, so looks like on one side it's just a guide rod, and on the other side it's got a piston, I guess. I don't know how that works exactly. Zanimio. Interesting stuff. Okay, so let's see what else do we need to take apart to fully field strip this thing. Honestly, I don't know. Is there anything else flashing? We should probably be able to disassemble the stock assembly, I guess. Maybe? I don't know. Nothing is flashing, so I'm not sure what I'm supposed to disassemble here. Okay. That comes off apparently. And then we've got the trigger mechanism, interesting. And the firing pin comes out as well. The bolt as well. Okay. And the gas regulator. Oh, there it is. Alright. Wait, so is it a piston gun or is it like a direct impingement type AR-15 style? Because it does have a gas port up here with a gas plug. Now where does that lead to? So that's directly connected to the barrel. I think that should connect to this sort of upper receiver type deal over here. I think it connects on the right side maybe, or oh no, actually it connects on the left side here. You can see the charging handle. On the charging handle side, there's a sort of a thing protrusion from that hole. I think that might be the actual piston. It's a very short piston by looks. Interesting stuff. Okay. Let's put this stuff back together, shall we? So the trigger control group is all a single unit. Just goes in the back. Alright, and then we've got the gas plug. We have also the bolt. Okay, we've got also this firing pin. And this stuff goes in here, and then the upper receiver goes here, and then we've got the barrel goes on the front, and we've got the mag as well, and that's one reassembled Steyr AUG. So let's go into operation and see how this thing actually works. So let's just fire it normally. There you go. You can see the charging handle is not reciprocating, which is interesting. It does have a charging handle on the side, which means that it's got this open side sort of thing going on, which is not the best for keeping debris out of the action. Okay. Looks like the bolt carrier pretty well covers this ejection port on the right side. It looks like it is reversible, so it is sort of ambidextrous if you need that. Okay. The mag release is on the bottom, so that's very ambidextrous as well. Interesting stuff. Obviously, ambidextrousness is it gets quite important when you have a Bullpup, because if it's not very ambidextrous, it could just sling empty casings into your face because it ejects so close to your face. So you definitely don't want that to happen. So you want that to be ambidextrous. Here you can see the front grip that folds. Interesting. Okay. Can we see a side picture through the scope? No. Looks like it's got, the scope has some sort of backup sights on top. Interesting. Okay. So let's, how do I put it to full auto? Fire single, fire auto. There it is. Okay. Let's reload it. There we go. And we're gonna see how it actually works. So the piston, the plug is on this side. So let's go into X-ray. There is our plug. Where's the bolt? Okay. Maybe I'll be able to see it better on a cutaway. There's the bolt on the back there, I can see. I think this sort of guide rod, the spring guide rod on the left side, oh sorry, on the right side of the gun actually works as a sort of a gas piston type deal. I think this small thing up here is the actual piston, maybe? I don't know, honestly. I have no idea how it works. Let's just see. So we're gonna go on super slow motion, and we're gonna press that trigger. Okay, so that thing actually goes back. Yeah, so it's got a super sort of short gas piston. It's really tiny, and it's just located in this basically gas plug up front, on the right side of the gun. That goes back like a small amount, and then the energy transfers to this sort of spring guide rod on the right side of the gun, which is connected to the actual bolt carrier. So that takes the whole unit back, then unlocks the bolt. Interesting stuff. Not very usual. You can see the trigger is just a weird sort of piece on the front, and it's connected by this rod, dual rod, to the trigger group at the rear of the gun. That usually means the trigger pull is worse than it would be on a normal configuration rifle, but obviously you get more compactness for that. It's all a trade-off, I guess. Okay, so I sort of know how it works now. Let's just dump a mag. Nice. All right. Unload it. Sure. I'm gonna have to reload it first, though. Okay, how do I unload it? I pull this charging handle, and it ejects way off into the distance. Okay. Apparently we can change the color as well. Let's see what that does. Alright, that's a sort of a desert tan, I guess. And then black, that's for I don't know, normal use, I guess. Then we've got green. Interesting. Okay. What else can we do here? We can put a Picatinny rail on it, apparently. And I was speculating about that before. I'm sure they have a more modern sort of optic nowadays on it. Okay. What can we put on that? HWS. That's a red dot. Like a holographic thing. Interesting. Right. They probably have something like that on it nowadays. That Picatinny rail is quite short, and I don't see that you can mount anything else elsewhere on the gun. So that could be a detriment, since you probably need some sort of light, at least if you're in the military. Maybe some sort of magnifier behind the optic would be nice as well, and a whole bunch of other stuff that you can't put anywhere. They probably did come up with something to mount those things. Alright, we can change the barrel as well. I think we can go for a... Oh, that's just a... What is that barrel? It's just like a weird heavy barrel with no muzzle brake or no muzzle device. Interesting. Okay. Battery? Oh, we can change the battery of the attack. Okay, I'm not sure. I'm not sure why that would be significant to the rifle, but anyway, we can put on the safety. It's this sort of cross safety, like I don't know what you would find that kind of safety on. It's on some sort of it's on some rifles, I guess. It's not a terrible design. Definitely leavable. Alright, so let's take this thing fully apart. I'm not sure how many parts it's got. Apparently 111, which is quite a lot. But we're gonna see how it works even better now. So let's take the mag apart first of all. Looks like a fairly standard magazine. Then the barrel comes off. Found that out. Then we've got this receiver. Comes off. And then we've got the bolt. Go. And then we've got our rear assembly, which consists of our trigger group. There we go. And there's our major components. So let's take apart the barrel first. We've got the muzzle, the flash hider first of all. We've also got a muzzle nut there for whatever reason. There's the front grip, and it's got a spring, so we can lock. What else have we got? We've got this gas plug and spring, and it's got a couple little pins as well. Interesting. Okay. Right. What else do we have? So that's all for the barrel assembly. If we move on to the bolt, we've got the firing pin. Apparently the bolt comes out after this. Got a spring. Oh, interesting. There is a separate spring for the bolt. I guess it would make sense. So, because the spring, the springs of the recoil springs are not directly connected to the bolt, but rather to the bolt carrier. I guess the bolt needs something to return it into battery. Or is that just the firing pin spring? I think that might be the firing pin spring. Oh no, it is actually called the bolt locking piece spring. Interesting. And that's the bolt locking piece. I guess that's got the... I don't know how that... I don't know what that's for. Interesting. Whatever. Okay. There's the actual firing pin spring right there. Okay, so the bolt's got a cross pin, much like an AR-15. We've got the button ejector and the side extractor, much like an AR-15. And that's it for the bolt. We've got then our recoil spring assembly. On the right side there's this sort of gas piston extension type thing, I guess. Don't know what to call that stuff. We've got the cocking piece on the rear. There's a roller on top. Very interesting. Okay. I guess it's another point of contact with the receiver. And so that doesn't rub, it's got a roller. Because it doesn't rub anywhere else. Since it's got guide rods anyway. Interesting stuff. Okay. Okay, so now we can move to our receiver. So we've got the mount and the optic. Does that come apart? No, by the looks, no. Okay. We've got the front sling swivel, and the charging handle, cocking handle. We've got the slide piece there. There's the assembly of it, I guess. That looks like some fiddly parts right there with that little spring. Wouldn't want to take that apart in the field. Right, there's the barrel plunger assembly. I guess that keeps it locked in place. Okay. Do we have anything else in the upper receiver? I don't think so. I think we can move on to our lower receiver slash stock assembly. We've got the safety. There is the reversible whatever it's called, ejection port. We've got the mag release on the bottom. Interesting. And then we've got this thing in the bottom. Don't know what that's for. There's a pin here, or a screw. I guess that's like a compartment for stuff, for storage. Interesting. Okay. What else is in here? There's a pin, a couple of pins. Okay, screw. And looks like both of the halves of the stock come apart. We've got this trigger assembly in the middle with the transfer bars, I guess, transfer rods. Interesting. And is there anything else there? I don't think so. So now we can move on to our trigger group. Got a hammer with a spring, a couple of springs actually. We've got the automatic firing lever. There is also the holding latch. Okay, interesting. What else? USM part assembly. Don't know what that means. Got the sear pin. Got the sear. Big O unit. And the hammer lever. Interesting. Okay. Is there anything else? There's two more parts apparently. Yeah. It's gonna probably be quite hard to find those. Oh, we've got the ejection. What is this called? The lid ejection inside. I guess that's just to cover up the hole for the ejection port that you're not using. What else? There is one more part somewhere. For Christ's sake. I hate that the most. There's always one more part somewhere. And it's probably tiny and really hard to find. Does this scope and mount does not come apart, does it? I don't think so, no. Okay. I knew this went way too smoothly. Oh, there's a spring here. That's connected to that lid. Okay. That is one completely disassembled Steyr AUG. So let's put it back together now, I guess. If I can. That's gonna take me some time, I guess. Right. Let's do this. So, let's do the trigger group first of all, I think. So we've got like this thing, the sear, and then we've got the spring. We've got the USM parts assembly. Still don't know what that means. Got the holding catch and the hammer should go in as well. There it is. Okay. Right, and then we can move on to probably the trigger assembly. And we've got our two stock pieces. Can we put them together? I don't know. No idea. Apparently I can't put them together at this point for whatever reason. Do we need anything else with the trigger? I don't think so. I think we're all good for the trigger. right? I guess we'll just wait with this. So the barrel assembly has this gas plug as well with the thing, and we've got the front grip as well. It's got a spring and the thing as well, and that goes on the barrel. Got the barrel nut and the flash hider. Okay. Okay, what else? We've got the recoil springs. Go in here and in there. Got our bolt with our ejector, extractor. We've got our cam pin. Okay, and then that goes in the thing, in the bolt carrier as a unit. Okay, cool. We've got a roller for the top of it, and then on the upper we've got the sling swivel. We've got the upper button. We've got the charging handle, or as it's called, cocking handle on this rifle. Okay. We've also got the barrel plunger. We've got the scope and the mount held by this screw. Right. Got the firing pin in here. Right. And then we should all somewhat come together, but apparently I can't put the stock back together for whatever reason. I don't know why I can't put the stock back together. I have no idea why that's not a thing. Do I have to click on like a special thing? I don't know. No idea. Oh, that thing goes in. Of course it does. The ejection port block thing. Alright, so we've got the trigger mechanism goes in there. Got the safety. This has all got a whole bunch of screws and things. There's a couple screws on top. There's one on the bottom. Let's put this in first. Got that thing. Got this butt plate and the pin. Okay. There's also this thing. What is this? The housing lock pin. Interesting. Okay. Then we've got the outside cover. We've got our bolt and bolt carrier assembly. We've got the upper assembly. We've got the barrel. And finally, we have our magazine. Alright, this is one reassembled Steyr AUG rifle. So I think that's probably quite enough for today. This is a very interesting rifle. I didn't know much about it. I just thought it was quite cool and quite well known actually for what it is. So anyway, a very interesting rifle from an interesting period of history. Definitely a very cool sort of space age-esque rifle. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, you can press the like button and subscribe to my channel. You can also check out my other videos, and I will see you next time.